101. Agenda item number 1 is roll call. Katie, thank you for being here. Katie Chang.
Present.
Robert, I believe, is excused today. And then virtually, Nikki Medwitz.
Present.
And Christy and Nishita.
Present.
Excellent. Everyone's here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. The Parks and Rec crew that's here. Mahalo for the service that you provide to our community. It's just wonderful to see so many faces in the audience today. Hearing that all members are present, we will proceed with a few housekeeping items. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda in 2 ways, remotely and in person at the Mission Memorial Auditorium. Remote and in-person oral testimony will be allowed during items number 4 as listed on the agenda. Before testifying, each person shall state their name. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to 3-minute presentation on each item. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. I will then give persons who have not registered an opportunity to offer testimony. Please utilize the raise hand feature in Zoom to be called on. Once all the remote testifiers have testified, I will proceed to in-person testimony in the Mission Memorial Auditorium. Persons who have not registered will be given an opportunity to speak following the oral testimonies of the registered speakers. Written testimonies, including the testifier's address, email address, and phone number, will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. As a courtesy, please turn off all cell phones. Agenda item number 2. Members, agenda item number 1 is a presentation by DPR, which provides an overview of structure on the Division of Park Maintenance and Recreation Services. Recreation Service section and a presentation on DPR's Summer Fund program, including highlights from the Summer Fund program dashboard. I have to do that every meeting. This is my first rodeo, everybody, if you haven't figured that out, so it's an honor to be here. That's why this is my first meeting that I've chaired. So without any further ado, Deputy Director, you have a presentation. Okay.
Sorry, I like to hold the microphone. Good afternoon, aloha. Chair Hauser, as well as the program committee. My name is Mark Kula. I'm the recreation supervisor for District 1, which is shown here as well as in the handouts that you have. District 1 ranges from the parks from Sandy Beach all the way to Makali District Park.
Hi, my name is Aina Higashi Izumi. I'm from District 2, and we run from Akiki to Aiea.
Aloha, I'm Mana Kahaleo Umi. I'm representing District 3. We go from Makana to Waipahu.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Kelsey Takahashi. I'm with District 4. My area goes from Makapu up the Woodbury Coast to the North Shore all the way to Mokuleia. Aloha, I'm Nicole Cayetano. I'm with District 5, Central Oahu, from Pearl Ridge to Wahiawa.
So we are pleased to be here today to talk to you all about the largest youth summer program on the island of its kind, the Department of Parks and Recreation Summer Fun Program. Sorry, before we begin, Sorry. Before we begin, I wanted to just show you some organizational structure of our department, just to give you an idea of who we are and where we fall in the big scheme of things. So this organizational structure is our department. Under the Office of the Director, there are 3 different divisions: the Division of Urban Forestry, the Executive Services Division, and the Parks and Maintenance and Recreation Services, or PMRS, and that's where we fall. Within the PMRS division, we have our administrator as well as assistant administrator. There are 5 different districts, as well as the recreation support services and maintenance support services. In each of the districts, there is a district manager who's in charge of the recreation as well as the maintenance in the district. There's the recreation supervisors, followed by complex supervisors, and then the actual summer fund directors themselves. So the 5 of us here are all in that recreation supervisor block.
Okay, one
Oh.
quick moment, so sorry.
That's okay, I can keep going. So, Chair Hauser, we wanted to conduct today's meeting in 3 different parts. The first part being Summer Fund General Info, followed by the DPR program outcomes for our participants, then followed by the goals and opportunities for summer 2024. We would like to have a brief 5-minute Q&A between each session, if that's okay. And at the conclusion of the presentation, go through a big discussion of it. Is that okay with you folks? Awesome. Thank you. So let's begin. Aina and I are going to be going over some Summer Fund General Info. So this is Aina.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, Parks Board. So I will be going over general summer fund information. So the who, what, when, where, why, and how. So first of all, what is summer fund? In your folders, there's a handout of the history of how summer fund came to be. A brief summary: summer fund began on Oahu in 1944 in response to the community need for positive Keiki engagement during World War II. The city started with 26 sites and now has turned into over 55 locations island-wide. The program, with its 8:30 to 2 p.m. timeframe, was made to mimic a typical school day to keep parents and children on a consistent schedule. Even though it mimics a typical school day, the emphasis is on recreation. So now back to what is Summer Fund. Summer Fund is a city-operated recreation-based summer program where children are engaged in a variety of activities, experiences that promote physical, emotional, and social well-being and development. Keiki get to participate in a variety of sports and games, music and dance, arts and crafts, wayana, drama, excursions, and much more. Our staff create programs that are outcome-based, where participants develop soft skills, which include but are not limited to teamwork, problem-solving, communication, adaptability, and interpersonal skills. These skills are learned through engaging in group dynamics, participation in cooperative games, and friendly competition. Summer Fund creates a unique experience for our participants because they are integrated with other keiki who are different ages, go to different schools, who come from different socio-economic backgrounds, and who have varied physical abilities. Because Summer Fund is not separated by academic skill, like school, it gives an opportunity for any child to be the star. It is important for us to contribute to the development of the whole child. So who is who in Summer Fund? So here's an organization chart of our summer staff and participants. So Summer Fund Director is the main coordinator of the Summer Fund program. They oversee and set the program outcomes. The Summer Fund Director's plans, organize, develops, and directs the program. That includes excursions, extra activities, and events such as finale program. In addition, they also provide training and give guidance to adult leaders in leadership, lesson planning, group control, and many other skills to keep them successful. Our adult leaders are full-time contract workers for the summer who range from being college students, young adults, and teachers who are on break. They are responsible for developing lesson plans for daily activities for children and also conduct and lead various activities that they have planned. So these are not limited to, but sports and games, arts and crafts, music and dance, creative drama, wayana, homeroom activities, large group games, and special events. They are each responsible for a group of up to 25 keiki and a few junior leaders. In addition, adult leaders also keep statistics by taking roll daily, help with general cleaning, and mentor junior leaders and prepare evaluation reports. Junior leaders are teenage participants who are 13 to 17 years old that volunteer to assist with summer fun program. They assist the adult leaders in running program by helping monitor children, help run activities planned by the adult leaders, serve food for summer food service program, and help with daily general cleaning of the facility. We use this program to mentor our teenage participants to gain work experience to make them employable when they decide to join the workforce. Areas have a screening and or have an interview process that helps them prepare with their interview skills. Then our summer fun children come along, and there are 6 to 13-year-olds that usually live in the surrounding communities, but are not limited to the area that they live in. Children must be 6 years old before August 1st of the current calendar year, and not older than 13 years old by the end of the current program period. So the next handle in your folder is a breakdown of summer fun sites with the maximum capacity for each program based on facilities, and then what was actually registered for the years 2019 and 2023. Up here listed is our numbers of children participants, junior leaders, and adult leaders for 2019 and 2023. So due to COVID, we saw a 13% decrease in children participants and a 21% drop in junior leaders registered. So in 2023, we needed 402 adult leaders to be able to fully staff all summer fun programs to capacity. We were able to hire 351 adult leaders, so we're still short 51 staff. These are our Title I areas. So out of the 53 programs island-wide, 35 of those sites qualified as Title I areas. So the breakdown is in District 2 in District 1, East Honolulu, 11 in District 2, West Honolulu, 12 in District 3, Leeward, Oahu, 8 in District 4, Windward and North Oahu, and 2 in District 5, Central Oahu. So when is Summer Fun this year? So this year, Summer Fun will run from June 10th to July 26th. The program will be 7 weeks long and a total of 33 days. Summer Fun runs Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. Some areas may have different hours to meet the needs of the community. General supervision is from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. in the morning and from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. General supervision is when a staff person is on duty but not directly responsible for conducting organized activities. This would be supervising play at the playground or facility by enforcing rules and regulations of the park. Some areas have Summer Plus program, which is a supplemental program to provide additional hours of childcare before and after Summer Fun program. So before care runs from 6 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and aftercare runs from 2 to 5:30 p.m. I will give it back to Mark.
Thank you, Ayla. So I know you must be wondering where we got all this data from. So all of the data that's going to be presented in today's presentation is actually from our Summer Fun survey information gathering that we did. The results of which is all inside of your handouts that you can refer to later on if you want to. And hopefully that information will all be in our dashboard that we are in development with. So the next question is, where is Summer Fun? Well, that's the beauty of this program because it's in 53 communities all around the island. Last year, we had 53 programs island-wide, and our goal for 2024 is to have 59 programs island-wide. The amenities in each of the sites vary, but most have multi-purpose rooms, fields, outdoor courts, which includes basketball and volleyball courts. And some do also include gymnasiums, pools, and playground equipment. Of the sites that reported in our survey that we sent out, of the 59 sites for 2024, 41% of those sites are actually going to be utilizing the Department of Education facilities. So we rely heavily with them. And how do we do Summer Fun? The Summer Fun directors are the masterminds behind the programs and are the ones who design everything. Immediately after the program is complete, they begin to plan the next year's program, including excursion sites and overall program design. Summer Fund directors plan what is best for the communities that they are in. As Aina already mentioned, some communities needed additional care after the regular summer school day. And there are also programs that are designed to not meet the traditional Summer Fund program model. Summer Fund directors have the ability to schedule activities with costs totaling up to $100 maximum, along with a $25 registration fee, which is waived for qualified individuals from the Department of Human Services. Our Title I areas do qualify for summer food service program and fiscal recovery funds to subsidize activity costs. So why choose Summer Fund? Well, for the child participant, we offer a fun and memorable experience that they'll never forget. For the adults, we provide supervision for their children in the neighborhood. And we are the best deal in town, 7 weeks for only $125. For our junior leaders and teams, we hope that they find this to be a very rewarding and skill-building experience. And for our adult leaders, it's a chance to work close to home and in the communities and give back to the communities that they're from. And why do we do Summer Fun? It's a chance to be a positive impact for so many. You know, one of my favorite memories in Summer Fun is watching everybody grow up. I've had kindergarteners who are now growing up, and now they're staff for the kindergarteners. And now I even have my own staff becoming directors like myself. So it's a really great cycle to see. So now that you've heard about us, we want to hear a little bit about you guys. If you have any questions, we also are interested in knowing about how you do you, what may be some of your success stories, and if you see any things that can complement our program with yours.
Well, first of all, thank you for the presentation. The PowerPoint looks great. And I
Thank you.
love your vibe. I know that's not a super professional way of saying it, but really love the energy and really what you're bringing to our youth. So just a few questions. I mean, I think as we're getting to know all the programs, something that we're probably going to be asking quite a bit is, what are you most excited about? What are you most worried about? Because it kind of gives us a frame for, you know, direction and how we can best support. So how do you think you would answer those two questions?
Definitely for me personally, what I'm the most excited about is the people connections I think that all of us have with our program participants. It's those personal connections that I think make this job not a job. You know, you're part of the community, you're contributing. Your second question about was
What are you most worried
what am I most worried about? I think that I'm the most worried about staying relevant. I think I want to like for myself and my staff, I always want to be relevant or cutting edge or, you know, keeping up with the times and trying to see where best we can, you know, grow and be this, you know, 100-year program that keeps on going.
And then one more question. So for the 9,000 that were served pre-pandemic, is the goal to get back there? I imagine staff is the limitation, but, or is it more about facilities?
I think last year, definitely the years after COVID, staffing is definitely an issue. You'll see that I think more in the presentation where we talk about some of the challenges with that. And yeah, yeah, what was that the part of your question? Sorry.
So the goal would be.
Oh, the goal is 10,000.
10, so more.
Yeah, so the 59 sites is what we're forecasting to have this year, and that's pending staffing is wonderful. And if we do hit the 59 sites full cap, full everybody, that would total, I think it was 10,075 children.
That would be amazing.
We're hoping for it, but we need some help with that, and hopefully we can get there. Did you have anything?
Great, and I also want to give our our board members that are virtual an opportunity to give feedback about the presentation as well.
I would love to give feedback. As a mom who slept overnight in the rain to sign my children up for Manoa Summer Fund, I can speak to the value. And hi, Mark, again. I don't know if you remember me,
Hi,
but
Christy.
kids went to summer fun at Manoa for a few years. And what I appreciated most about the program was the intergenerational aspect. I work at UH at the Center on Aging. And so I'm a big fan of bringing Kupuna and Keiki together. And I remember my kids talking about a few activities that they did with Kupuna. And I thought that was fantastic. And also from someone who is at UH, I appreciated the fact that the adult leaders, as I remember, a lot of them were students at the College of Ed. So this was great experience for them as future teachers. And I'm wondering if there's anything there to foster in terms of becoming more of a pathway opportunity for these students and future teachers, some kind of pathway or opportunities for these students to earn, credit hours, and just be a part of that, College of Education, teacher prep kind of programs. Yeah, that's just my initial thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that comment. To touch on what Christy said in the start, at Manoa, I started a program which was Kupuna Corner, and it utilized the senior club at Manoa, and as a free play option, the kids would come and they would learn these like long time ago crafts and things that I'm sorry, camera. Sorry. Oh, I hit it. My bad. Sorry. But yeah, that program is still going today, so I'm really happy that you brought that up. To address your other concern, yes, we are trying to develop new ways of reaching out to the University of Hawaii School of Ed, kinesiology, FAMR, and sociology. My fellow colleagues and I are planning to visit as many places as we can go and spread the good word about our programs. And right now it's kind of a grassroots. We're trying to contact those who we know, and we are looking at that as a means of getting more staff and getting to reach the goals that we want.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. It's Nikki Medwitz. I just wanted to chime in, and I'm not a mom, but I work with a lot of young families at Aulani, and I just hear really great things from all of those families about the popularity of this program and just how highly they think of it. So one, I just want to commend you all for the great work that you do on this program and for keeping it so successful. I think there's almost a problem with the success of it, though. Like I'd love to see us being able to expand it to offer more access to it, especially, I hear from West Side families that just like you mentioned, that this is the best deal on the whole entire island, and childcare being such a huge expense for our families on the island. It sounds like making this more accessible to our local families, it means that we need to be able to hire more people into these roles. So I'd love to just kind of explore a little bit more about the challenges that you're having maybe in hiring the right people for these roles, and so that we can expand the access of this to more people.
Thank you. Yes, we're definitely going to be covering that. So maybe that's a great segue. Now we can go on to our next section. So our next section is the DPR program outcomes, and Kelsey Takahashi will be presenting about that.
Hi, good afternoon.
My name is Kelsey Takahashi, and I'll be sharing a recreation refresh and program outcomes. While our parks and facilities are really the footprints in our communities, the heartbeat of our department are our staff, our programs, and our activities. The department has always prided ourselves on providing affordable and accessible recreation activities and events for all ages. For years, we've offered recreation activities such as youth sports leagues, ceramics, archery, swim classes to our cherished summer fun program. To stay relevant, innovative, and rise up to higher standards, in 2022, the department decided to develop the Recreation Refresh Plan. Members, you can check your flyers in your folder if you would like to follow along with the full plan. The Recreation Refresh Plan includes a new mission and vision statement, standardized program outcomes, and is our unified approach to outcomes-based programming. This plan aligns all of our programs and events to division-wide standards and outcomes to promote higher program quality. These outcomes help staff to be intentional and purposeful about what they teach and how they conduct their activities and events. The Recreation Refresh Plan includes 3 program outcomes: health and wellness, sense of place and community, and leadership. For health and wellness, we want to increase habits that support healthy minds, bodies, hearts, and spirits. We want participants to engage in healthy habits, fitnesses, and behaviors, to engage in positive social interactions, and to promote wellness in others. We have always been providing sports and cooking activities, but we're not just teaching the kids how to dribble the ball or cook fried rice, but rather we're teaching them the importance of teamwork or the desirable heart rate when doing a cardio activity, to how many ounces of water they should be drinking in a day, and how to build a well-balanced meal with the 5 major food groups. We create our activities to be a safe place for individual discovery, creativity, and where every child has a chance to be a star. We offer opportunities for dramatic play, singing and dancing, different forms of art media, all with the goal of giving our keiki unique recreation experiences in a safe and welcoming environment. Our programs and activities are not academic-based curriculum, but staff strive to incorporate a variety of experiences for the participants. Many sites will include visits to the library or the mobile bookmobile, visits with the Hawaiian Humane Society to learn how to care for animals, or presentations on cleaning the beaches of microplastics, or participating in the Genki Alawai project. Our playgrounds are our classrooms, and we understand how we contribute to building the whole child. We want to create opportunities for the keiki to learn and refine important skills like teamwork, sharing, taking turns, communicating, and playing with people of different ages. The participants come to our programs to learn specific activities, but they leave learning and experiencing so much more. Our second program outcome is sense of place and community. We want to increase connections to the home, park, and community. We want our participants to know about the place that they live and the place that they recreate and program at. We want them to know the host and community cultures, to learn the stories, the language, the culture, and practices. And we want them to help to take care of their home, their park, and their community. During summer fun, we see this happen when the keiki start to develop group and park pride. You hear them chanting their group names or singing their park songs, or how lunch ends with a cleanup because we instill the importance of taking care of the spaces that they use and how to leave that space better than when they found them. We want our programs to be safe places for our participants, and we strive to create a culture of acceptance and understanding. We also pride ourselves on making our programs and activities accessible to all. If there are participants with different abilities or needs, then we strive to make the necessary accommodations so they can stay included with their peers to have the same experience to the greatest extent possible. And by keeping these participants included with the group, we can then provide learning opportunities for all of the participants. And it's amazing to see how the keiki are so adaptable, flexible, and empathetic of their friends that might be just a little bit different than themselves. We also want our participants to know their wider global community, so we create lots of opportunities to introduce different cultures and destinations through various activities. We teach different languages, cultural dances, and sampling foods from other countries. We have directors out there creating the experience of exploring the world by learning through different countries every week. to the extent that they reenact going through an airport customs with little passports and boarding onto a cardboard airplane. We've even had directors set up opportunities for their keiki to be pen pal letters with kids on the East Coast. We create all of these opportunities so we can expose our keiki to what else there is in the world and teach them how they can make a positive connection and impact wherever they go. With a sense of place and community, we want our keiki to know the importance of every circle they belong in, from their immediate family to their wider community, and how they play a valuable and important part in every community that they belong to. Our third program outcome is leadership. Here we aim to increase the ability to develop leaders and community contributors. We want to create a safe place to learn and practice employability skills, foster civic contributors and global thinkers, and to enable and empower individuals to strive for personal growth. Our Junior Leader program during Summer Fun allows teenagers an opportunity to build their skills in communication, responsibility, and leadership. Most junior leaders will go through an interview process before they start volunteering and an evaluation process throughout the program. They may assist with implementing activities, they lead assembly songs, and assist with the summer food service program. While the day is filled with fun responsibilities that keep these teenagers engaged, we're constantly challenging them to build and grow these important life skills. For our adult leaders, Summer Fun is sometimes their first employment opportunity. We work with these young adults to refine and strengthen their organization skills, critical thinking and problem solving, their oral and written communication skills, and their sense of responsibility. They learn how to communicate and engage with people of varying ages and how to adapt and adjust to their audience. Sometimes we start with young adults that can barely fill out an application by themselves, but yet at the end of summer, they're capable of speaking in front of large crowds, planning and implementing comprehensive lesson plans, and organizing and leading groups of energetic and young keiki. And while it's easy to look at our volunteers and staff that are in identified leadership roles, we cannot forget how we're also nurturing the leadership skills in our keikis as well. Some programs are designed where the children might have leadership roles. So maybe they're the line leader for the day or they're leading the morning stretches. While other programs have designed their finale program where the children are writing their own scripts and choreographing their own dance routines. These directors are offering fun opportunities for the keiki to grow and stretch their leadership skills and abilities. We understand how it takes a village to raise a child, and we're proud that we're helping to nurture and develop our island's future leaders. So while we may have always been creating quality programs and activities, this outcomes-based approach to programming allows our staff to create a clear vision and purpose for the activities they conduct, and it drives staff to be very intentional and purposeful in their planning and implementation. But where we really see the beneficial impact is on our program participants. This refined way of program planning helps us to develop the whole child through the various activities and lessons taught. It allows us to turn our parks into safe communities for our participants and a place they know they can try new things, thrive, and grow. Our outcomes allow our teenage volunteers to have increased opportunities to build their leadership skills, increase their sense of personal responsibility, and to have an increased appreciation for community service. Our young adults have the opportunity to develop and refine their skills to be tomorrow's leaders. We give them employment opportunities in a fun group setting while adding value to their own community. And while we may have always been offering activities and experiences, we're all eager to raise the standards for what our participants, volunteers, and staff can expect to get after being part of the Department of Parks and Recreation. I thank you for listening and learning about our outcomes-based approach to programming and our Recreation Refresh outcomes. As we start this collaborative journey with all of you, we're very excited to share more about what we do and also to learn about you and your organizations. We're curious to learn what you think success looks like in the work that we all do, and how do you measure success in your own organizations. We're also curious how our outcomes and program outcomes and approaches are similar to what you might implement in your own programs. Is there anything anyone might want to share in particular, or are there any questions?
This particular section is of great interest to me. I work with young people who experience homelessness. And one of the things we talk about consistently is that homelessness is really a catastrophic and persistent loss of family, loss of community. We all know people who are experiencing unemployment, struggling with substance, but it's when they actually lose that connection, when the family finally says enough, you're experiencing homelessness. And so what we look at with young people is where are the touch points? Where are the places where we can fill in the gaps and really build that social capital around young people who it might not be that great for them at home. And yet every day they're in our parks, every day they show up to our drop-in centers because the work that we do fills that void. And so I'm very, very interested in this, and I commend you for looking at these program outcomes. I want you all to put me out of work. That is why I am here. But really, and I think a lot of where you're going to come to is how do you measure this? It's something that we talk about at our organization. Well, what does wellness look like? And what does wellness look like if you come from a community that's had generational trauma, generational poverty? What wellness might look very, very different. And so those are my takeaways, and I'm really excited to follow you on this journey. So thank you.
Thank you.
I can actually echo what Carla said. I think, these three items as outcomes, they're really, really incredible. So the work that I do with Center for Tomorrow's Leaders, obviously in the name, we have an interest in leadership development, partnership with UWI High Schools, but obviously health and wellness and the sense of place is a huge part of leadership. So, we've been talking quite a bit about, even when it comes to health and wellness, what goes into a healthy way of thinking. We only think of mental health sometimes within a certain frame of reference, but there's so much that goes into it. And I feel like this department has such a unique vantage point to look at the whole continuum and not just a certain part. So that's really exciting. Sense of place. For so many of our young people, we're starting to lose all shared spaces. And obviously TikTok is not a replacement for a shared space. So again, a huge opportunity there. Then for leadership, something that Hawaii needs. And obviously we have a shared value there. So also wanted to commend you on that. And follow up to what Carla said, what do you think, can you give us a little bit more information from these three? How are the outcomes currently tracking? Is there then a general rubric that comes after this, or is that still in development? How are you currently starting to develop it down further into specific outcomes?
So these are just general overall outcomes. The directors, like they can design their programs, are really looking at what specific that they want to focus on. They all generally still will be tied to one of these three major outcomes. And I believe in our dashboard that we would be able to share as we're collecting results, we are polling, at this point, how much of their program is already designed towards those outcomes. And then we'll be asking that at the end, kind of a follow-up after summer, on what they actually did that was specifically implemented towards reaching those program outcomes.
Can I ask one more question? So what are your current feedback loops as you're designing programs? So is it, obviously there's neighborhood boards, there's parents, there's all different ways. So how are you currently getting feedback on programs?
I think it might vary from site to site with staff. It kind of goes from as simple as getting kind of verbal feedback, kind of talking to participants, getting feedback maybe from parents that have children that participate in the class, talking with the teenagers themselves, like myself at the end of summer, I did a sit down with my junior leaders. We kind of talked over summer and hey, kind of what's up for next summer? What did you like this summer? What did you not like? What can we change? What do you want to add into the program? So I think a lot of really listening to the people that are already there. We are also looking and expanding into how we can utilize community surveys. So I think that's something that the department is really embracing and kind of stepping into kind of a direction that we may not have strongly taken as a whole collective in the past. There might have been individuals that was really doing it, but I feel that right now we're kind of taking a comprehensive kind of standard approach that we're approaching that. So hopefully we'll have other opportunities to be collecting community input.
Thank you. Anybody else with any feedback? Another presentation.
Wait, so it sounds like this is new then. You're embarking on something new to be more intentional in setting
Yes,
specific
yes.
outcomes
Mhm.
and how to
So
measure
the,
them. Okay.
yeah, so the Recreation Refresh Plan was actually introduced to the department in 2022. Again, we've always been doing something similar, but it's the first time that we're actually labeling outcomes that we know we're all kind of striving for the same end goal. So that might be the first, but the ways that they're doing it are still going to be very similar to what we've always been doing. It's kind of the core of what we do as activities.
Okay. So it sounds like there's potential for this board to provide support in terms of how to operationalize those outcomes and how to collect that data, perhaps consistently across the different sites, so that you can demonstrate that collective impact. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, great.
I'm just curious, the junior leader program sounds very similar to, I work really closely with the Boys and Girls Club of Hawaii, and they have a leadership and training program. Have you ever talked to them about their program as well?
I myself have not. I'm looking at my colleagues behind me. We have not, but it's definitely a great suggestion that we will definitely be writing down and looking into. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other feedback? If not, please continue.
Thank you.
Okay, so our next portion is going to be about our goals and opportunities for Summer Fund 2024. First up, I'm going to call Ms. Napua Kayatana. Thank you, Napua.
Aloha and good afternoon, Parks Board Program Committee. Mana and I will be sharing today our Summer Fund 2024 program goals and areas that we have identified as opportunities for improvement and growth. The Department of Parks and Recreation Summer Fund program has provided recreational activities to Oahu's youth for almost a century. We are an established program, but even we must embrace change and adapt to remain relevant, balancing being innovative, staying relevant, while still respecting our past traditions. To propel our Summer Fund program towards success, we have identified 3 goals for the upcoming Summer Fund 2024 program. 1 is to increase the amount of Oahu families and youth service. 2 is to enhance staffing recruitment. And 3 is to provide a quality program aligned to our division-wide standards. DPR's Summer Fund program is for youth completing kindergarten through to 6th grade. We provide 59 Summer Fund sites across the island. In 2019, we serviced 9,007 youth. In 2023, we serviced 7,796 youth. Our registration count numbers dropped substantially during the COVID shutdown. Our numbers are steadily increasing, but our goal is not only to get back to pre-COVID numbers, but to exceed that to 10,000 registered participants. So to attain our first goal of servicing 10,000 youth in the Summer Fund program, the department will need to hire over 400 contract summer staff to assist with conducting the Summer Fund program. In your folders, you'll find our Summer Fund recruitment flyer and information on our Summer Fund College Student Employment Program. We offer summer employment and training for college and non-students, providing our employees with invaluable opportunities for social and personal growth with the added benefit of working within their own communities. Our third goal is to align our program to the recently developed division-wide standards and outcomes that promotes a higher quality programming. As discussed earlier by Kelsey, with the outcome-based approach, the program and activities are purposefully planned and implemented. This intentional program design works to develop the whole child through the various activities conducted that promotes physical, emotional, and social well-being and development. Well, setbacks are an inevitable part of the journey towards success. Every setback presents an opportunity for growth and improvement. We have identified 3 areas for potential opportunities for growth to attaining our goals. 1 is recruitment challenges, 2 is programming design, and 3 is our leadership pipelines. Workforce shortages pose significant challenges across all industries today. Our Summer Fund program has especially felt the effect of the staffing shortage. The impact of a smaller pool of applicants coming through is that we are unable to accommodate the demand of the community. We are also facing an external hiring challenge of competitive pay rates by competing businesses and agencies. We are competing against other businesses that are offering perhaps hiring incentives, higher pay, flexible schedules, and or a longer term of employment. DPR's recruitment of contract staff begins in December, and we strive to gain all of our hires by May. In our recent survey completed by our Summer Fund directors, we posed the question of what methods will they use to recruit staff for Summer Fund 2024. And listed are the 5 top resources and responses that they stated. 91% stated they use word of mouth. 66% reported using city and county DPR ads. And tied at 55% was community outreach through posting of flyers and networking with colleagues through reaching out to DOE and affiliated organizations. And at 47% was personal social media through reposting of DPR posts. So as shown, we rely heavily on word of mouth for recruitment, but we're always looking at ways to expand our recruitment methods so that we may hire the staff needed to service our youth. Now I'd like to introduce Mana to discuss the additional opportunities for growth.
Aloha. So our program design. The format of the Summer Fund program continues to grow, change, and improve through innovations of today. As our participants and our communities continue to evolve, so must we. The traditional Summer Fund program has been modified to some areas to accommodate specific needs. For example, Kailua District Park in District 4 has been faced with staffing concerns, so the program has been adjusted to accommodate staff availability. Staff will conduct classes in time blocks based on their availability. In this format, they are able to conduct programs from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., where the normal Summer Fund program would end at 2. With the flexibility in hours, Kailua District Park is able to service participants for a longer period of time. This format continues to encourage staff recruitment because of the flexibility in the schedule. Another great example would be not just our staffing concerns, but we're also faced with participant recruitment concerns. Fern Community Park in District 2 is another example of staff innovation. Fern Community Park ran their program from 8:30 to 2 p.m., just like all the other Summer Fund programs. But the enrollment was low because the adjacent school ran at the same time. So let's try something else, they said. Fern Community Park decided to conduct a program that operated from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. instead. And guess what? We saw an increase in enrollment. This particular program has been in operation for more than 5 years now, and they continue to operate successfully. And then another somewhat different but great example would be Kamiluiki Community Park Extended Care in District 1. Kamiluiki staff noticed how beneficial it would be for the participants and their parents if extended care could be provided. At the Kamiluiki site, there was no contracted group to provide additional care after 2 p.m. So the staff began their own, what we call Summer Plus program. Both participants and parents were grateful. But doesn't end there. In the summer of 2024, Kualoa Regional Park in District 4 will revitalize the overnight teen camp, where the goal is to build and foster leadership while aligning with our leadership program outcomes. So, as I said, our Summer Fund programs continue to grow, change, and improve through innovations of today. So, let's move from our innovations to our leadership. So let's talk about some of those innovative leadership opportunities for our youth within our programs. As you've already heard, our program builds on the concept of the whole child and further develops the employability skills and mental development of our junior leaders and leaders in the program. We strive to build a culture of leadership through the program and have often seen many children move on to become our pipeline of leadership through the years, as Mark has mentioned. We want to keep developing this pipeline by fostering our external growth and connections to be able to sustain our internal strength. Our commitment to these individuals is to continually develop their skills today to become the leaders of tomorrow. To build their employability skills, Parks have offered training of various leadership themes and topics in different ways, such as junior leader trainings, summer aid trainings, leader swap days, and even elections of the Summer Fund president and VP of the summer. So, if you could please, we'd want to get the word out about the good work that's happening in our communities. And how can you help? Well, if you can talk about us, get us out there, let people know that, yes, we are there, we are relevant. So we just had some posed questions, maybe some ideas, things that you folks do for recruitment that could potentially help us.
Excellent. Thank you again for sharing. This is where we give our feedback. Couple of things immediately jump out to me, and this is from my personal experience with the 16-year-old who's gone through a few summers, both as a participant and also as a junior leader. Last year was great being a junior leader. She got to participate, and now she's almost 17. And she needs a job, and she needs to make money. And so she has to pivot away from Parks and Rec, and she'll work for Zippies or Longs. And I feel like there's such a missed opportunity to keep that pipeline. I myself, my very first real job was Parks and Rec for the city of Long Beach. And by the time I worked all through high school, all through college, I had 4 or 5 years, of part-time experience with a city entity. And that just elevated my career. And so I would really want to take a look at how can you utilize those 16, 17-year-olds that love what you're doing and they want to be a part. That's one comment that I have. As far as training curriculum, we use the 5 core competencies, and that's for youth workers. It's by a guy named J.T. Best. Very, very quick read. It talks about respect as a noun and respect as a verb, and how we work with young people in that capacity. It's an entry level for us as we work with young people who've had a lot of trauma and a lot of things going on. But I would recommend that as a read. And then I'll turn it over to my colleagues for additional comments.
Thank you.
I'd like to chime in because recruitment is a space where Disney is heavily involved in on a regular basis, and I think we do a pretty good job at it. And it's interesting that word of mouth is one of your biggest recruitment tools, because honestly, as a large employer, word of mouth is one of our largest recruitment tools as well. But we incentivize people to continue to utilize that word of mouth. And what we do is we provide a hiring incentive. So anybody who's able to help provide a referral who is then hired with us, we give them an extra dollar amount, and that could be anything of your choosing. At Disney, it's anywhere between $300 to $500, but I think just that extra incentive just to share this type of job opportunity, I think could be of benefit to anybody who works in this department. And, you know, it could be from any single department, I think. You know, you just utilize the people who already work with you and have them continue to share. I'll definitely share on my end. I think that word of mouth is a really great tool that we for sure utilize at Disney.
Thank you.
I'll just make a quick add. Yeah, I'm curious about what channels are being used now to recruit, and like, are there any spaces that you would like to, yeah, any other methods that you would like to recruit through that you haven't been able to already? That's one comment / question. The second one is about the training. I don't have a specific training curriculum, but at the Center on Aging, you know, we work with people in terms of empathy training, communication skills, you know, especially for people with dementia. And so similarly, you know, I'm a big fan of any kind of training that promotes empathy and inclusion for younger people with different types of disabilities. And I have colleagues at the Center on Disability Studies at who have done, you know, similar types of training, and if that's being done now and if that's of interest.
Thank you.
Yeah, real quick, so I have so many thoughts on this.
No, we appreciate
So, as
it.
we know, workforce development is the topic, not just in Hawaii, but nationwide. We're talking about Gen Z, right? The age currently from 14 to 27. My nonprofit has actually hit the road to do Gen Z workshops on how we're gonna meet in the middle, because it feels, the environment we're in feels so different. So I have a lot of thoughts on that, but I think one of the things you're identifying is interesting, that there are amazing opportunities within the department. All the youth leaders I know that have done your program have adored it, like absolutely adored it. It was a priority. And just hearing them talk, I got excited even before I joined this board. So obviously there's a lot of opportunity, but then we have young people that think that there are no opportunities.
Yeah.
And so all the bridge work is getting quite complicated. We've done a lot of internal surveying, you know, young people looking on platforms like Handshake and others that we've actually been really slow to adopt. Even just in Google searching, what comes up at the top. So I ask a lot of young people how they find internships, and they say, I Google intern and Hawaii. And whatever comes up, if that doesn't work out, then I perceive that there's no internship. So I think there's a lot kind of on the technology side. But I'm wondering too, in partnership with the Department of Education, which you do, because you use a lot of facilities, has there been any talk about joining some of the advisory boards that are now part of our large high schools related to career academies? Because I'm wondering if that might be a recruitment, an immediate recruitment. So having staff of this department serve on the advisory boards, because then you get to know schools and you're a part of their feedback. But that's just an idea. Has there been any discussion on maybe partnering with the DOE in that way?
That's a deal, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we've explored as an advisory board, but
Yeah.
I know for myself personally, because I was a former Waianae High School teacher, I would go back and do things with their academy because I was familiar with it, but not as an advisory board, so.
Maybe that's something we can explore as a committee as well, because I think there's a lot of potential. And the last thought that I had is, you know, this generation has grown up with a huge amount of choice, obviously, you know, Netflix, Disney Plus, choose, even with boba, right? 25% sweet, I want my boba to be this, you know. And so we've been talking a lot from an employment standpoint, how we add that element of choice as an employee perk. So you're working, you have this job, but then I can choose a perk like I myself learn how to swim, or I'm a part of a wellness circle or something that is also tied to the perks. So I put that maybe as a question to how you're thinking about the perk component, which is obviously very important to this generation. It's something that we've done a lot of thinking choice, but how you create choice within the perks of a position. So I guess that's a question. What kind of conversation has there been around that?
I don't think specifically, but maybe unintentionally, the perks, especially like to the junior leaders, we do a lot of programs with them, whether it's after hours, taking them out on the weekends, whether it's like beach things or more formal organized activities. I think many of us have what we call a team program. So it enlists these, because they're volunteers, yeah, we don't pay them. So this is a way that we can kind of pay them and give back and then encourage them to continue to participate with us. I mean, I like to tell our kids, like, if you participate with us after summer fun hours, you know, this is our thank you for what you do or put up with throughout the day. So, and then we try to, as much as possible, we've been fortunate to get some funding to pay for some of these excursions, movies, whatever. So, yeah.
Any further discussion about the presentation? I just, again, want to commend you. It's such an undertaking and you're approaching it with just such a breath of fresh air and just such positivity. I'm really excited.
Well, Mark is gonna close us out.
Here to offer whatever support that we can in that process. Hearing no further, sorry.
No, he's just gonna close us out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. That concludes our presentation. Chair Hauser, any
We will. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, public testimony. We will now proceed with remote testifiers. Are there any? No. Okay, seeing none, we will now proceed with in-person testimony in the auditorium. Okay. There. Is that a question? No. Members of the announcements. If none, we will move to adjourn. If there's no further business, the meeting is adjourned.
Yes.